Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Vince, and
This is Eduardo.
all right, and this is the. Hold on, why is it not playing? Should be playing now. We are
Go.
the.
Re-
Okay, so we are the Rinky Dink Link. We're trying this new format where we're just gonna be just one person, two people actually, and this is a light version where we just are two people,
Mhm.
and or
Yeah,
I would have
just
wanted at least three people, but we just didn't have enough people today. Yes,
yeah, just to keep it up and not
hmm
yes, and not let too much time between episodes.
right, that's
So
right. hmm
that's good.
And yes, and so today's meeting, or rather episode, is all about hosting, and it's because there was something that instigate or triggered something that in my life, and let's just say my life, so that it's so that people would not get offended. So and it's because hosting has become kind of uh, iffy, and so we wanted to kind of describe how it is um, as hosts. And Eduardo, how long have you been a host of this community, the influencer community?
Okay, mi hermano, I started on March, I think. So it's
Okay.
been quite. It's been almost the whole year, and I'm in my 20. I've hosted 22 sessions right now,
Mm-hmm.
so it's been a while, and to me, it's been a really good experience learning on every in each of those sessions. I've been learning things every time, so to me, it's really to me it was a really good experience, and I think that I'm getting a lot of experience and knowledge and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know things, good things from that.
Well, for me, I've been a host since I think November, December. I'm not quite sure when exactly I was a host, but it was because Kuya Edward, I was one of his participants, and he just saw me and asked me, like, "Hey, do you want to be a co-host?" I'm like, uh, I'm not sure if I want to be a co-host, and but after a while, I just said, "Yeah, sure. Let's give it a try." And he let the administration know about it, and hence I am now here. And I kind of vaguely remember what the first meetings were, but I kind of the first meetings that we had were about, I think, regarding the supernatural and superstitious beliefs and stuff. And so because of that, I have a vague recollection that it was around October or November that I've started. So we are kind of we've been doing this for quite some time now, and for me,
Mhm.
our Kuya and I's my uh, sessions are on a weekly basis. It's been broken. The streak has been broken numerous times, but of course, out of the community, if we may toot our own horn, we have a meeting every single week, and this week has been extra special because every single day there has been a meeting. So, uh,
That's
and it was
crazy.
just because of it is crazy. It's crazy to just host and being able to do it on the fly now.
Hmm.
For you, mi hermano, it's a bi-weekly thing for you, right? And it's because you're still a student, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Correct me
I'm
if I'm
still a
wrong.
student,
hmm
and I decided also not to get burned out. I think that's the expression, the expression with the
Yes.
activity.
Yeah.
Just to enjoy it every time I'm hosting, so I decided to give it some time in between sessions, so
hmm
just prepare something interesting and just enjoy it every time, not to get it like a routine, to make it a routine.
hmm
So that's why I decided to make to open the meetings every 2 weeks,
hmm
because I choose the weeks that the other hosts are not hosting, because there are some other hosts
We are
that
hosting every
they
Saturday, though.
you but you we have like 10 hours of difference.
For sure.
So that's why I decided to just, so for those that are hosting at night at the same time of my meetings, I
Mhm.
choose the weekends that they are not actually hosting. That's why we, you have meetings every weekend at the same time.
Mhm. Before we became hosts, we definitely were just members. We were participants of these meetings, and as a participant, what did you expect, or what do you expect uh, from hosts? What should they accomplish? So that is one of our first questions.
Hmm.
For me,
As a
let me just
participant.
yeah, let me just
Hmm.
get started. When I what I expected from hosts before I became a host myself was someone who was straightforward, someone who was well prepared and could kind of make me understand, and also kind of get me into the topic and make me want to say more. Someone who encourages me, and a lot of before the influencer community, I actually was already attending ESL, uh, ESL classes, and also speaking clubs outside of the community, and they were hosted by librarians, and also just regular folks, native speakers of the language. Actually, some of them were not, of course, but we got a varied. I got a varied exposure. So when for those hosts, they were able to make the material exciting. So that was one of the things that I was expecting as a participant, so that I would be more inclined to come back the next time. What about you, Hermano?
Well, I think that before becoming a host, I had like high expectation for the host. It's because I thought that they should be entertainers, and I don't know, they had to make a really good organization of the topic and the timing. I mean that just to present in the right time, and then to send the participant to the small groups at the right time, and make it like interesting and dynamic. But then when I became a host, I knew that how hard it is to be like, I don't know, entertaining. So I changed my mind. I realized that it is difficult to be. You are not like TV presenters with a crew that they prepare for you the material and help you to make every episode really a blast, something really fun. I changed my mind because I know that it is really hard to
Mm-hmm.
make that every time, to achieve that every time. So I think that in the past I was like asking too much for uh, too much, thinking too that they should be something else. But now I understand that it is okay. Is sometimes the meeting is getting a little bit boring, and we are kind of lost in a moment, because it's like something that people is doing it for free, and it's just for helping you, to just for giving you the opportunity to use the language. Because for example, to me, it's really hard here in my province in Argentina to find a place to practice the language, find people. Also, my classmates in college, they don't like to practice the language. They just go for for getting the degree one day, and but they are not that, too much interested on language, in the language. So it's really hard here to practice the language. So I think that these kind of activities are priceless. Every time we have this opportunity to be a participant, also a host, it's something that we don't have to miss on these opportunities. So I think that um, nowadays, my as I said, my opinion changed, but I was like kind of picky at the beginning with the hosts were doing, because I thought that they should be something else.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you should know that it is not the same as a show.
That's right.
We are
It's not
not
the same show. Yes.
we are not there for entertain, just for giving you the place for practicing.
Thank you for reminding me that we are actually have a different. Yeah, I also kind of had that same notion before, but it wasn't as much as because the hosts that I've seen in shows in on TV are very very charismatic. They're able to present things that are they're so banal, they're so inane, but they make it so interesting though. And these take time to I think and
Mhm.
I really admire people who could do it live on TV, and it was something that as a kid I grew up watching noontime TV shows in the Philippines, and I'm not sure
Mhm.
if this concept of a TV show of a noontime variety show is um, something that you've heard or seen before, Hermano.
Yes, I think that I
Do you-
saw
okay,
something similar.
so familiar with the concept, and there are people who don't actually read off a script most of the time. They actually are thinking of what they are going to say, and those
Mhm.
type of people could speak on the impromptu. Like they are masters at the craft
Mhm.
of communicating something and making it
Like
seem
Steve
like
Harvey,
yeah.
something like that.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
hmm
Mhm.
Not noontime. Sorry, late night talk shows also like let's see, Jimmy Fallon. Those are
Mhm.
the likes that I've. I mean, the thing is, it was
But
kind of
Jimmy
rehearsed
Fallon,
a little bit, a little bit. I think.
it's rehearsed. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that
it
they
is rehearsed. Yeah,
because
but I
they
mean,
are not playing with actual people there with the audience. But
oh no,
Steve
no,
Harvey,
no, I'm talking
Steve
about like
Harvey.
Steve
Mhm.
Harvey. Okay, Steve Harvey. We're talk. If no one knows who Harvey is, he's the host of Family Feud. I think
Mhm.
he's iconic with his bald head and his mustache. Okay, so just to let you know who that is. So
And
just
he
want to make sure
suits.
everyone. Yeah, and now he's in South Africa filming for Family Feud, but the African version of it because I think he got out. He got uh,
But he
ousted
has
from
this
the organization.
charisma,
Very
and
yes.
he's
hmm
quick for answering or uh, getting. I know the audience says something, and he
hmm
always have an answer or something funny to
hmm
say or a joke.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hmm
Speaking of which, that actually kind of goes to our next question, which is what makes a great host? What are the qualities needed? So you've mentioned someone who is wait, I actually mentioned charismatic. No, you kind of mentioned someone who's a communicator, and
hmm
what else did we want to say about being a host? What are the other qualities? Oh yeah, that's right. You earlier you mentioned being attentive to the people that are
hmm
there, and
Yes,
you know.
yes. I think that what makes a good host in the type of meetings we do, the environment we are is to be a good listener and also to know when to say something, when to call on some participants and make them speak and participate and commit with the topic and with the conversation, because sometimes you are hosting and they tend to, I don't know, be silent, and it sometimes you makes you think that they are bored, and you have to know when to call their attention and make them speak, and just to remind them that they are there for practicing. And it's I think that each meeting we made we are in is like a unique opportunity, but because you don't know if there will be another one next day, because it's something for free. People get sick, people they get I don't know, bored of doing this and they quit, and so you have to take advantage of any opportunity. And I think that's a good host will be able to invite you, to make you I don't know, to hook you to the topic and make you, I don't know, speak and uh, know when you are not quite interested, and make you become more active in the meeting.
Yeah, becoming a great host is definitely being someone who's able to coax people to come to the meetings and also know how to listen to people. But at the same time, I think what makes a great host is that some of them are just the best ones. I think are the great are the entertainers, and hands down. Whenever people are laughing, when they're enjoying their time, and but at the same time, they're also being challenged with with things that are seemingly simple, but maybe are may become profound as they dig deeper with things. For example, today, hands down, I was not aware what the difference between equality and equity were. It was
Mhm.
mind boggling. So one of the things is that makes a great host as well is that you are still open to new things. You're not there as a, for me at least, maybe all you for you as well. I don't know. You are someone who is able to open the minds of people, and you are, you know, you just have this knack of presenting it in a way that makes people want to know more. Um,
Mhm.
we could kind of equate ourselves to professors at times. We are no, yeah. I did say that we are not um, well, teachers per se. I mean, but you are an aspiring professor, so you you have the advantage. You have the advantage of being the professor, and so it's easier for me. But I am not an educator by any means, in any by any means possible.
But you know, every time I think, I notice that the participant of my meeting, they think that they are in a class. I remind them that actually we are not performing a class like teacher and students. We're just equal there, and we are there for practicing. And sometimes I told them that if they want some feedback in terms of how they are using the language, they can ask the other participant. But
Hmm.
that's not the aim of the meeting. But
Hmm.
the actual aim is just practicing, trying things, and
Hmm.
just to make organic the language for you to use it. And then you will realize that if you are saying something wrong, something, you can try something that you heard before. And that's for me the real aim for the meetings, and not to go to a class that maybe instead of presenting a topic for them to have something to talk about, but teaching them, like, today we're going to talk about, I don't know, equity and equality, but you have to use the present simple, and then use the conditionals, because that's the no, that's a class, the English class.
Hmm.
You will
Newsflash,
you
everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
Newsflash. We are, well, whenever you talk about these highly convoluted English or rather terms that are
Mm-hmm.
grammatical terms, people actually don't really know what they're oh sorry, native speakers don't necessarily know what they are. I mean, if they're English majors,
Mm-hmm.
they would, and they may have a vague understanding of what a noun, a verb is, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
simple past, simple present, those things are very technical for a native speaker. So if you have the notion or have the if you think that they would know this when you are talking to a native speaker, be prepared to be disappointed. Not all the time, because there are people who do know these things, but it's
Mm-hmm.
those things are convoluted. So us, we, the ESL speakers, the English learners, are more cognizant, are more aware of those things, because those are the things that we are studying, so we are better in the language.
Mm-hmm.
But what Armando is saying here is that it's all about using the language so that we are more organic in using it. And for me, as an English speaker, that's the journey that I've been that I've had. It's been what, 20 years, and I definitely started out speaking the language in a very baroque way, in a very kind of, you know, wonky way. Now you hear me, it's, I still make mistakes, but it's not as drastic as when I was starting out. So this is what we hosts strive for, what we want
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate in the meetings. and a
Yes,
good host will definitely do that.
because language is something that you have to use in order to make it easier for you then to use it in the future. And also you every time, at least in my experience, every time I'm speaking English, I find myself using new words, new expressions, something that I even I even know I knew. So I didn't know that I knew how to say it, and just it came to my mind in a second and use it.
Hmm.
And that's the the scenario that I have to put them, that they have to just become comfortable speaking the language,
Hmm.
for just to language to start fluent. If it's been becoming then in like, I think that if you feel comfortable in a group of the English learners speaking the language, you're going to be more. I don't know. You will tend to use more language, that because when we are like nervous, we go for the easier, for the most secure things that we know that will work. But when we are like relaxed, we start trying new things, because for us, that people that is learning the language, we not always have the correct language to use.
Hmm.
And we have to try and see the other people reaction, and see if they understand. And then if we have a native, we also see, because in my experience, when I were talking to a native, you kind of read in their faces that when you say something awkward,
Hmm.
something funny. And those are the instances when you're uh, really learn, because we learn for everything, for faces, for what they answer, and their tones. And in order to learn that way, and to make the language organic for you, you have to put yourself in situations like that. And these meetings are the places we have for get that kind of experience, that kind of feedback. Because
Hmm.
if you turn off your camera, that will be better
Your ears.
for your partners, your
Hmm.
ears, your, because reading faces is also something that you have to learn.
Hmm. Especially when
In
you're talking to someone on the phone. Imagine,
Mhm.
imagine talking to someone on a freaking on a real phone, and you're not gonna be. You need to be able to decode the language just by audio, by voice,
Well,
which.
you mentioned phone. To
Mhm.
me, because I joined the influencer community, Hadar's influencer community,
Hmm.
like in 2019. But I
That's
was
years
a
ago.
silent member
Hmm.
until last year. I don't know, November, I think.
Hmm.
I started getting more interested on seeing what happened in the group, and then I saw the meetings, and I started like getting more interested. I decided to join the first meeting, I think on December. And and that's my experience, like practicing the language since December. I joined in the meeting, and March I decided to become a host. I asked for this opportunity, and they allowed me to become one.
Hmm.
And so that's my journey, like practicing the language. Before, it was just in my classroom, and it was different because don't, as I said, they don't like practicing the language, so it was
Hmm.
something basic. And it was, I remember, on July, or at that time, I think, in the year, I got a call, a Facebook Messenger call from a friend, Anoop,
Hmm.
that he
Oh. Hmm.
also hosted with me. He called me, and I was like, I didn't know how to answer, because I couldn't see his face, and I was like
You want
lost.
to?
It was something new. I never pick up a English call. I call a phone call in English. So it was to I was at that time I was used to talking to people in English, but always in this platform, like in a video call. But
Hmm.
he called me like this, like a phone call. It was like really hard to follow the the conversation because it was too much
It was
different.
unusual
There
input.
were unusual. There was there were like too much cues that I needed from the I was missing the his expressions. I don't know when I didn't know when they were silent or silence or something. I didn't know how to handle that situation. It was really tough,
So
and you know
when it
every
comes
experience is. Tell me.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it really has helped us as in our English journey. This hosting thing has made me more impromptu. Has made me more has enabled me to speak more on the cuff. And for you, you are now able to take calls in English without seeing their face.
Yeah.
So that is a definite, that is a definite milestone for us as speakers of this language. I mean, I have to admit, I've been speaking this language for 20 years now, or rather more, even more
That's
than that.
no.
And it's in it, I've had a lot of experience. But the thing is, I
Yeah.
don't want to rehash things, but there was a time when I did not want to speak it because of the bullying that I received from, or the bullying that I experienced when I was younger. But that be put that aside. Now I'm able to communicate in a way that is more spontaneous because of this hosting thing. And
Mhm.
what else? I'm able to curate materials or topics that are better suited for a mass audience, or when it comes to just us, just a an interpersonal communicate interpersonal dialogue. Then it's a different set of topics. So right now we're talking about just hosting, and it's because we have this commonality, and so we're able to go on and on and on about it. And we are also, but because we now are hosts, we now know when to also stop, like what you said. So I'm going to stop and gonna give you the back the mic.
Well, you know, as you said, becoming a good presenter, and we earlier before going live, we were talking about that sometimes we think that, or we thought that a a host should be like a showman, a
Showman,
presenter,
yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
in a TV show. But it is not the case here because there's no time, there's no resources for making something like a show or every every
True, true.
meeting. But I think that it is something that at least you and me, we kind of long for becoming like a like be able to present a show and
Mm-hmm.
at what at least doing something like that. I also would like to become a good presenter, and as a teacher in the future, being able to create material for my student, maybe create a course and make videos. So the show and being a good presenter is part of the thing that I like to achieve in my life. And I think that becoming a host is like the first step to for achieving that in the future. Not
Mm-hmm.
being able to be in the front of an audience and also command this audience, because we are not just like presenting something and not talking to the people in the audience, but we have also the not only the presenter, but also we have to be like interviewers. We have to call on people and make them speak and
Mm-hmm.
also give them feedback. So that it's a really interesting position, the one we are in these meetings. So I think that being a host give brought me too much benefits in terms of my English
Mm-hmm.
journey, and also getting confidence to be a better speaker in the language.
We were actually answering this question already. In your experience, what are the major benefits of hosting? The original question was, how has hosting helped us in our English journey? But then inadvertently, we were answering the next question, which was, what are the benefits, main benefits? And you've already mentioned the main benefits, so let's not rehash that. And we'll just say, how about, since we're talking about major benefits, what about bad things about hosting? Are there things that are bad about hosting? In your,
but
mm-hmm,
bad things. I think in
bad
my
hosting, yes.
experience, I became like there was like I started uh, and I started I don't know missing the opportunity of join others meetings because being a host was like enough for me for practicing. So I started quitting every other meeting that there was in the events of the group. I don't know. It was like since I became a host, I started just to miss all the other meetings, and
Mm-hmm,
I started just to before becoming a host, I was attending several meetings in a week, and it was
mm-hmm,
really beneficial for me because I was practicing. But when I became a host, I just like changed and motivation. I just was thinking of my meetings and forgot about the other meetings, and I don't know. It was like, and now it was I don't know a time I realized that I was doing that. I was missing the other meetings, and I was planning on starting joining them, but I'm still missing all those meetings. I don't know.
mm-hmm.
I didn't. Sometimes I join them, but I think that hosting gave me like the enough uh,
No practice.
like sensation or a
Uh,
feeling of having practice enough in the week. But I think that that's not enough for for speak better the language.
for
So
me,
that was a kind of drawback.
when it comes to that, I don't know. I think I become the opposite. Even though I have my own meetings to think about, I still you see me in your own meetings, man. I co-host with you. It's just weird because
Yeah.
I just co-hosted in the morning and now I'm also co-hosting at night. It's I know it's maybe it's I'm doing it too much. That's the perhaps the bad thing about me. It just be about hosting. The sensation of being able to communicate with people is kind of at times the power, the recognition that you get sometimes gets to your head, and you just want to get that sensation every single time. And now that's why I go to other meetings and the other hosts. At times, I actually try to mask myself as just some other participant, and I don't want them to know that I'm there, so that they are not distracted by my presence. And then they would get sometimes they would get intimidated by how because I'm there.
Well,
They just keep asking me.
mhm. Something that also made me start, I don't know, missing all the meetings is that every time I joined the meeting, when I was in a breakout room, the other participants, they were expecting me to guide
Yes, yes.
the conversation and to
Uh-huh.
present, to, I don't know, to share my screen and ask them the question. It was I'm not the host here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
another one participant here. But that's why every time I join a meeting, that happened to me. That I became a mini uh, host in the breakout room.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't the experience I was looking for. I wanted to be another participant.
Yeah, because we
That's
are tired of host. At times, I'm actually tired of hosting. That's why I just go to the other meetings and become another participant, and be able to, hear what they want to say, and I could, uh, do follow up questions, or I could say whatever I need to say about the topic, and that'll be it. But yeah, it becomes a burden at times when we're supposed to be just there for as regular people, not like mini hosts. And there have been times when I'm like, okay, you know what? You guys know that I host a lot of these, so I would really appreciate it if you would take the step it up and take the mantle,
Hmm.
be the host, the mini host of this, so that you give me a break. And if you really
Yeah,
don't have anything else, yeah, go. I'll be able to catch you. Don't worry about it.
yeah. You know,
Let's
we
keep going.
can. I don't know. And it's that's an idea we can use in a in a speaking club, like assigning mini host.
Oh yeah,
That
there you
could
go.
be.
Ooh, I think I'm excited for. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we
Because
can
we
do
do.
something like that.
We really have we have people who are, I think, ready to do it, but they don't want to step up. And so if we give this opportunity to them in these safe spaces, maybe we will have more hosts in the community, and we
Mhm.
will be relieved from people just coming to our meetings, and we now have more meetings to attend to, and they will perhaps give a better perspective on topics that we've done in the past. And sometimes there are topics that we recycle, but the thing is,
Mhm.
when we do it again, there's like a different insight that we get. Sometimes it's a lot of it is definitely repetitive, but it's if it's um it has been done months ago, then it's different. It's like it becomes fresh again. It's talking about things, and with a better we're now going to talk about a certain topic with more perspective because time has passed. And yeah, let's do this. Make assign mini
Let's
hosts.
do it. Yeah,
Let's
we
see
will.
who are the according to what I've been seeing, some people who are very vocal include like one of our regulars. His name is Eugene. Eugene, he's from Ukraine,
Eugene.
and he
Mhm.
is very very vocal, and I think he can be a host if he really wants to. And
You
maybe,
mean Eugene from Ukraine?
yeah, Ukraine, yeah, yeah.
He was once a host
Wait,
in the
what? But
community.
then how come I don't see him in the
I don't know, but he was. I think the second meeting I joined in the community was one of the
what it
Eugene
is?
and Neil.
Really?
But
Okay.
he quit the activity,
Oh, okay.
and
Well.
I think a month before I became a host,
Oh wait,
he
no, no.
also.
I don't think we're talking about the same person. I'm talking about
It's
a
not
Eugene. Yeah, a Eugene. Who is he's a musician. Um,
a musician.
yeah, he's a musician. So maybe we're talking about a different Eugene here, and he's also
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
He may be someone who's when compared to Eugene, he may be like my uncle or something. So I
Uh-huh.
don't think this is the Eugene you're talking about. Okay,
I
I
think
kind of.
the Eugene I'm talking about is in his 40s. Like,
Oh, maybe yeah. This person is definitely I think well beyond. No offense, Eugene.
you're young.
Yeah, you're so
I'm
young.
far
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just
year
trying.
for being 40. So
Another person who is really good at hosting, I think, would be Laura. Laura.
Laura, I
He
think
she
that
all. Do you remember
a
her?
good
Like,
idea could be like opening three or four in like breakout
three
room,
breaker
but
rooms. Have more people in there.
with I don't know 10 people, five or six, 7 people in it,
Ah.
and they like conduct the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So
That'd be
would be
awesome. That's actually, I think if we did that, it would take more. We need to have more hosts in the and from the community to host this meeting so that we could guide them, and then kind of like
hmm
make them um, make them like lecture sessions. There's still going to
hmm
be meetings with discussion rooms, but in a way, we're trying to now train people to become hosts. So
that would be interesting.
that's becoming very.
We can provide them the material and everything that they need, and just
Mhm,
to encourage them to just take the lead and you know conduct the meeting,
mhm.
the breakout rooms. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
that'd be awesome. I think out of these questions, I think that really is it. I
Hmm.
think we're ending it with a high note, and you know, we've been talking for 40 minutes now, so I think it's time
Hmm.
for us to say goodbye, and perhaps in another edition, the next few folks will give us more insights on what hosting is really all about. So
Okay,
until
that
next time,
yeah, we
yeah,
next time we can go back to this topic, and I know to add more information
Yeah,
to what we
definitely.
said.
Yeah. So with that said, this has been the light because we only have two people. All right. See you guys.
Very light.
Very light. Very light.
See you
Bye.
guys. Bye.